Well, hello there. This is Shane from Shane's Books and Review, and I hope you are having a great day today. And thank you so much for coming by. Today we're going to be talking about a book that's just a little bit different, but it's definitely within our lane. It is Conspiracies, wrote by F. Paul Wilson. And no, YouTube, this video is not on conspiracies. It's not a conspiracy video. I'm not trying to stir up anything. It's just the title of a book. If I mention conspiracies and stuff, it's from referencing this book, which is a fictional story that has nothing to do with conspiracies in the real world. It's just a thing for enjoyment purposes and not actual conspiracies. That's my disclaimer for the video. So anyway, Conspiracies, wrote by F. Paul Wilson. Let's see, the narrations on this book was done by Christopher Price. And Christopher Price did a great job in this book whenever it came to the way that it was narrated. Kind of drug out, a little bit noir, you know, the cadences and rhythms and stuff. It was unique and different, and I really enjoyed listening to this because whenever these books, I was first introduced to them, I read them, and so I had my own internal characters and dialogue and all this kind of stuff. And it's kind of cool to see the vindication of what my mind had done with some of those characters, because I believe that he has portrayed those in a lot of the same ways that I had in my own head as I was reading these the first time. So kudos, good job. As far as a quick rundown, we have some mystery. Repairman Jack, the way that he is set up, he's a guy that wants to be off the grid completely. He makes fake identities for himself, and so he struggles to not end up with people knowing who he is and giving the government money or leaving paper trails and all that. So there's a few correlations there in between that person and another person that I find as a dirty little pleasure to read about. So our relationship that we see developing in between Jack and Gia is going to, of course, continue. And she's got some very valid concerns. She's kind of upset with him because, you know, even though this is supposed to be easy job here and easy job there, it always ends up being not so easy. And for whatever reason, poor Repairman Jack just cannot stay out of the supernatural realm, it seems like. So in the previous book, we had this situation where there was like this little bitty car, and there was this stuff that was really kind of Tesla related in that it was using wireless transmission for power and all this kind of thing. So that was a really neat story to check out. But in this one, those sorts of things actually continue, but not in the same storyline. So he ends up running into this guy that's wanting to find his wife, and his wife disappeared in a really weird way, he thinks, and she got a hold of him in a way basically through the TV on the Weather Channel when nobody was paying attention, telling him to find Repairman Jack, and he was the only person that could find her. And there's all these things that happen inside of the book whenever it comes to him dealing with two smaller jobs that end up not really being smaller jobs. One actually does get wrapped up by the end of the book, which was really good to see, and it had a very unique, things don't always work out in the way of which people would want them to, kind of a vibe, which was really nice. It was realistic. I enjoyed that. As far as the rest of the book, absolutely not realistic at all. Get that out of your head, because Repairman Jack is there for entertainment purposes, as I said, and there's always some kind of supernatural hoopla that's happening around him. He just can't stay away from it. So essentially, he gets wrapped up with this guy that's looking for his wife, Melanie. So Melanie's husband, we're going to call him Melanie's husband because I don't remember his name, but he gets a hold of Jack and brings him along. Jack goes and checks out this painting and touches it, and it seems like it's still wet, but he could have swore there's like some teeth in it or something. And the book shifts so that he ends up going to this conference of these people that are conspiracist type people. And in this conference, it's going to be in one hotel. They've booked out the whole hotel. There's like a couple little subplots that happen. One is that the guy that's hosting it might not be what he appears and may be trying to make something happen with all of these people that are sensitive to particular things being in the same place. Then there's the story of Melanie and Melanie's husband, and Melanie disappearing through a basement floor that has a rope ladder going down it, and the concrete is undeniably the original concrete that's been there for 70, 80 years, and the rope ladder is brand new, but in the concrete, and there's no way that it could be like that, so that doesn't make sense. But there's this whole story about this otherness, and if you remember from I think it was the tomb, Jack has an experience with these Rakosh type creatures where he has to fight them, and they're like supernatural beings, and they're very rough, very reptilian, very dinosaur type mentality of get it done break it, kill it, don't care. It's done because we were told to do it. Pure evil, pure raw type stuff. So that's brought back by some of these people that are in this story, knowing about the scars that he has on his chest, but he's never shirtless around these people. So there's this unique little tongue-in-cheek and stuff that happens back and forth because he pretends to be one of them. And before long, he finds himself fighting, trying to not become one of them because of the way that he's wording things and saying things and looking at things. He's like, I'm just not comfortable with this anymore. I'm not one of them. I need to stop saying that. That's not, no, quit it. So it was an enjoyable read all the way around. As far as the plot points go, they're simplistic. There's a story rhythm that this happens in that is good. Whenever you get to the end of the book, oh, okay, great, cool. Now, the end of the book, I had a couple little issues, and I don't want to tell you what it was, but it was unique and it was good. It wasn't that I had a problem with it I had a problem with it because I was like, oh, okay, so sometimes there's a good problem, and that's what that was. As far as his relationship with our friend Abe, which is his counterpoint, kind of got him into all that kind of a thing for the fake passport / ID / credit card, etc. Abe is just himself, just this lovable big guy that has a sporting goods store and underneath it a ton of weaponry. But it's funny to see their interactions. He made a really good comedic break whenever it was needed. So F. Paul Wilson did a great job writing this. It was pretty solid. I liked it quite a bit. As far as feelings of the book, there was a little bit of suspense in there actually. Wasn't really expecting it, but it happened. I found myself feeling a little bit anxious because of some of the scenes, especially whenever the lamp gets built, whenever you start to see what it actually does, that kind of a thing. I was like, oh, that's good. That's good. I like that because it's not every day that I come across a book that I'm reading or a series that I'm reading that will have those unique ideas. It's not that uniqueness is dead, it's just there's so much literature and stuff these days. Unique ideas are few and far in between, and these ideas actually weren't completely unique to this author. These are things that have been around, but it was the way that F. Paul Wilson merged and married those different things together that made it unique. That was cool. So yeah, I had a little bit of joy whenever I saw how Jack diffused an argument with Gia in saying that he wasn't going to argue with her because he hated it whenever she was right, which shut her up. It's not that I want to see her get shut up. That's not it. It's that every guy has been in that situation where he has to do something, he doesn't want to do it. It sucks. It's going to cause him to lose out on things that are important to him beyond what he has to do in his personal life that is actually more important to him than that, but it still has to be done, and he's the one that ends up holding the bag. So for everybody that's ever been in that situation, male or female, doesn't matter, and or other, there's the scene. It finally happened. And it can only happen in a book, because if you actually tried that in real life, it would never hold true. It wouldn't go that way. But yeah, so question of the week. What do you know about Tesla? Tell me down there. I'd love to know. And user call out, Zach, if you would, the most interesting comments we had this week. Thank you so very much. It's much appreciated. And as far as the next books go, Lynette had said something about Aching God, and so that's going to be one of the next ones we do. It just so happens that I had already read this one before I read Dr. Sleep, so we're making the video after we made the video for Dr. Sleep, so this video might come out before Dr. Sleep's video, and if that's the case, awesome. If it's not the case, awesome. It doesn't matter. Not in the grand scheme of things. But one thing's for sure, if you're still watching, you are my hero. Thank you so much for being here. It's much appreciated. Like, share, subscribe. This is Shane from Shane's Books and Review, and I hope that you have a great day. Also, there's that thing over there. YouTube wants you to see one of those two videos. I'm not sure which one you'll pick, but if it's that one, I'll see you in the next one.